we have a special guest. Randy has been a top producing realtor for over 30 years in the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, involved in ownership, sales, investing, project marketing, and development over the past 22 years. He's developed and led one of the most successful real estate teams in Canada. If you haven't heard of them, Team Eximus. They average more than 250 transactions per year. I think they did almost 300 last year. They'll do well over 300 this year. I know that for sure. The team has achieved many outstanding rewards. Now, in 2019, Randy became a legacy builder with EXP and High Growth Life. He has almost 600 legacy partners. I'm sure he'll be at 600 by the end of next month. I've personally known Randy for 4 years. He's been a huge mentor for me, and somehow it's also someone I also look up to. He probably doesn't know it, but I've actually learned so much from this amazing human in 4 years. In my opinion, he is the definition of a role model. And we're super excited to welcome Randy from Team Eximus today.
Thank you, Thomas, for that kind introduction. And all that other proverbially that you said meant nothing until the end when you said that you looked up to me. So I'm emotional thinking about that. Thank you.
That's true. It's true. And you inspire me every time I talk to you, right? I'm curious, what inspired you to pursue a career in real estate, and how did you become a top agent in your market?
Well, I always knew I wanted to be in sales, and I thought it was going to be in the clothing industry. I loved clothes as a kid, and so I thought, oh man, I'm going to be in the clothing industry of some sort. Well, I ended up in the sporting goods, which was way more fun than clothes, and really learned to love to serve people and make sure that they bought the right pair of skis or the right ski jacket or whatever it was. But I knew that wasn't going to be a financial future that I could really support my family. I was earning $28,000 a year managing a sports shop, and then a friend of mine from my church said, hey, you know what, you'd probably be really good at real estate. And I had no idea that I'd like real estate, that I'd fall in love with real estate. But I just saw his lifestyle and I thought, man, that lifestyle looks a lot better than my lifestyle. So I went ahead and pursued getting my license. And in 1992, May of 1992, I was licensed. So I've been hanging around this world for almost 31 years now. And, one of the things that makes you become, I guess, efficient or good or great or phenomenal or whatever is you need tests. And I had a lot of testers. I was flat broke when I started real estate. I had no money in the bank. The bank was actually, continually calling our house saying, we're going to foreclose on you. That's where I was at. And I'm thankful that Jolene, my wife, was working at that bank at one point. So she had a relationship with a bank manager, and she would go in and basically say, like, give us one more week. Randy's working his tail off. He's got a deal coming. Trust me, he's got a deal coming. And so I had the fire to just try and create something and make something for my family and just keep the bank away from taking the townhouse that we owned away. So I just poured everything into it. And I treated it like a real job. I grew up on a farm in southern Alberta, so I saw what hard work was about and how to be consistent with that. And so I just treated real estate like a real job. I still do. Being up early, going to the office early, pretending you're punching a clock, pretending you're being managed by somebody other than yourself to keep you accountable. And that's what I did, just day in and day out, and worked hard and just built lots of relationships. And so much of my success has been around relationships. I've been a relationship agent. Everything's been about relationships, and that's how I built my business to what it is today.
Yeah, 100%. And, relationships is everything in real estate. Now, since the 90s, the market has definitely changed. How you sell homes has changed. Your relationships haven't. But everything from A to B, the process, the fax machines, all that. How do you stay up to date with the latest real estate trends and changes in the market? And how do you incorporate into this into your daily work and your most successful team in Fraser?
Well, if you're passionate about something, you're in love with something, you really pursue it, and you want only the best for yourself if it's a passion of yours, whatever it is. Take it away from real estate. What do you do for fun? I love to kite surf. I'm pretty passionate about that. I want to get better at it. So real estate's my number one passion. And of course, I want to be student of the game. So I'm always trying to see, how can I be better? How can I learn more? How can I be more efficient? How can I lead better? Like, everything is built on your passion. And if you want your passion to grow, you have to be a student of that passion. That's just what I've done over 30 years. Now, I should say this. I mean, there's seasons. There's always seasons in your, well, we can, at EXP, I can call it a business. Before I was in a career. So there's always seasons in your career where you're learning more, you're more involved, you're less involved, like just different seasons of your career. And so there was times that I wasn't as passionate about learning about the game of real estate. And so you have to kind of like challenge yourself. And really, I've got about 4 different seasons in real estate too, from the individual agent, that rookie agent, then to starting a team, then having that team kind of blow up in a way and having to redo and reevaluate and restructure team concept. And then I'm in my 4th season now at EXP. So I've had different seasons. All have been good, all have been challenging, all have been learning, but that's what makes it fun.
Amazing. And how important, you mentioned you're always learning, always looking to adapt. How important is it to mastermind with other top agents in the industry? I mean, you host an event, every quarter, it seems like, where you're bringing the best minds in Vancouver. I always see you talking to other top agents at every event we go to. How important would you say it is to mastermind with other agents?
It is everything. In fact, I've restructured my whole team because I read a great book and just masterminding with people. And the book is Who, Not How. Everybody should read this book, Who, Not How, by Hardy, Benjamin Hardy. And I'll admit this. I've made so many mistakes in my business, and so often I've tried to fix them or do it myself, and I tried to be the how in everything. But the how can only take you so far. God only gave me a few gifts. We only have a few quality gifts. Some of us have more than others, but I always say I only got a couple, and I got to go and find the who that has the gift to help me with the how. And so recently, I went back to my roots of my team even a decade ago and brought back agents that were with me a decade ago on my team and said, listen, come, let's go and do something really special and build this team into something that's much bigger than we are today. And so that's all about the who. Gotta be, proximity is power, and bringing the right people together and learning from the right people is very important.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Now, being the 4 seasons you've been into, growing your team, shrinking your team, growing it again, there's only so much time in the day. How do you prioritize your time and manage your workload? Like, I wish I could have more time. I'm sure you've probably maybe found the secret to that. And what systems do you have in place to ensure that you obviously still continue to provide the best service to your clients when you're selling almost 300 homes a year?
Yeah, wouldn't it be great to be able to go to a magic time machine and just drop in, like slip in a $50 or $100 bill to get an extra, 3, 4, 5 hours a day? I often thought that would be really cool. And let me tell you, man, there was times that I was so strapped, just chasing time, trying to find time. I don't know if anybody on this call can relate to this, but the task monster was just chasing me constantly. Like, you'd have your day and there's just so many things you ought to do and you're just running for your life to stay ahead of the task monster because he was going to eat you. And so time management is probably, mindset and time management are probably the 2 keys to really launching successfully in real estate. And so we're talking about time, is just knowing where the quality of your time, your best time, needs to be sacred. It needs to be put aside, and you need to really know what's important. So there's things that I love to do, but people don't want me to do those things. So there's things that I'll do that nobody misses me. I'm up early. I go to the gym early. I know some people may go, midday, in the evening, afternoon, whatever, but there's too many people that want a piece of me, whether it's my family or my clients. So I do that, when nobody else is awake. And so blocking off time, and I get this question often, do you block time? And I always said, no, I don't block time, but I do. It's just a different way of me doing it. I just know that I've got to get through some things. And usually that's just pressing really hard on those things early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
My schedules changed a little bit over the years, but when I was really in the thick of production, it was a rare day that I wasn't at the office by 8 o'clock when nobody else was there, and just started working through my prospect list, what I was going to accomplish. When you're a productive agent, you often have a couple of offers that you're dealing with. We're at a point where, if you're selling 300 homes, it's a deal a day kind of thing. So there's always something to prepare for, a deal to prepare for, another CMA to prepare for. So I often did that, in the hours when nobody knew I was awake or alive. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously, your business over the last 30 years has been built on relationships with clients. What strategies have you found to be the most effective in generating repeat business and referrals, which I'm going to assume it's probably at least 30-40% of your business today?
Oh, repeat referrals is probably, I'm going to guess 80-85%.
Wow.
80-85%. Yeah. For myself personally, then we generate a bunch of business on the team that is not referral based. But myself personally, it's going to be 85-90% of my business is referral. But building relationships, there's many ways you can do it. And I'll just give a couple quick ways that I've done it. I always say, find your passion and then go and join that passion with others. So, match or mash your passion with others, which means, so if I love investing in real estate, gosh, maybe I should join an investment club where there's other investors. If I love kite surfing, maybe I should join a kite surf club, but make sure that everybody in that kite surf club knows I'm a realtor. And so that's just one easy way. I'm surprised at how much business I get from the gym. And if I could define where to get that business in the gym, join the classes. At the classes, that is where, you'd go early, you'd wait for your spin, you get on your spin bike and you just be sitting there talking and socializing and networking with people. Oh man, I got so much business from the gym, just being in those classes, the spin class especially. Another thing I'd highly recommend doing is being involved in the community. So another thing that worked really well for me is I went to the local softball association. My daughters are already playing on it. I was coaching teams, so I was passionate about it. It was one of my passions. And I said to the association, listen, I will sponsor every team in the association. And they said, every team, not just your team? No, every team. But this is what I want. I want to be acknowledged in everything, from your website to everything you're doing, that I am a sponsor. I want you to put up signage around the park that I'm the title sponsor. And I want to meet with every coach, every team, every set of parents, every set of kids at the beginning of the year. And what I would do is I go and sit with the kids first of all and just remind them that they're doing the best thing they can for them. You're going to learn a lot of life lessons, as you know, from hockey, Thomas.
Yeah.
And then I would go and sit with the parents and say, what a wonderful thing that you've brought your kids here. But listen, I'm sponsoring your team. Here is a check for $500 to sponsor your daughter or your son's team. And I've got another $500 check, but I need your help. I'm helping you. I want you to help me. I want you to recommend me to anybody that's thinking about buying or selling real estate. And when you do that, your son or daughter's team is going to get another $500. In fact, I've got a contest going on, and whoever sponsors brings me the most referrals, and I sponsor the most on their team, is going to get a bonus of an extra $2,500 at the end of the year. So I had teams that were going on bottle drives, raising money, handing out flyers for me. They came to me and said, listen, we're going to do a ball drive. Can we hand out sponsor or flyers for you? Because you're our sponsor.
That's amazing.
And that got me a ton of business from, all the teams would see that. And of course, you're at the park anyways. Today, and I wish I would have kept up with this, I haven't, but today with social media, I think you could just absolutely blow that up.
Yeah. 100%. That's the definition of fishing with dynamite, right? You're having, multiple people working for you, right? You can only be in one space at one time. That's amazing. And actually, we were just talking that with their team. There's a couple sports teams that we were talking about. So it's a great avenue, right? Especially if there's, we got lots of parents in this group. Now, this is always a question, and I'm sure you've been asked 100 times. People ask me, and I've only been in the business for just over 4 years. You're 30 plus years in the industry, a few thousand homes later. How do you stay motivated and overcome challenges in your work? And what advice would you give to other agents who might be struggling right now in this shifting market?
Yeah, a couple of ways to motivate yourself is to help others. I think that's probably the one thing that's motivated me the most. Once I built a team, I had that accountability, that responsibility for others. I just felt like, how do I help these other agents become successful? How do I help them and their families find, financial legacy in a future they didn't have? So that put a lot of weight on me. So by being the teacher, so to speak, I had to be the student first of all, and you just learn so much if you want to teach, lead, mentor others. And so that was one way that really motivated me. So that's a really big piece for me. That changed so much for me. Because I'll tell you, I was about 7 years, get that 7-year itch, heard that. I was about 7 years in the business, and I was like questioning, do I want to do this for another 7? And that's when I made the move to building a team, and it changed everything for me, to be honest, because now I was just pouring into others. And when you give and you see people being rewarded by what you're doing, it to me, it really motivates me. It really, makes me come alive. And I guess it comes back to, what is your why and how does that why? Because if you know your why, you're motivated because you're chasing something that is really special. And what is your why? And as I shared in Maui, you probably remember this, Thomas, but when you create a why that makes you come alive every day, it's pretty easy to run and jump out of bed and get to it. And then, of course, if you're using your superpowers, that's number 2 on that why list. Number 3 would be, how are you adding exceptional value to others? And then there's this overarching piece for me anyways, is what's the legacy? What's your legacy? What are people going to say about you? Pretty important.
100% it is. Yeah. And having a strong why. Guys, I will post Randy's, his speech in Maui. He knocked it out of the park. I think I've watched it 4 or 5 times. I've probably sent it to half the people in this room. Find your why, right? It makes a big difference. It's going to give you your purpose, and it's going to drive your goals, right? And leave your legacy, leave your mark in the world. I love that, Randy. It makes a big difference.
Thomas, remember, I still have my $100 bill with me. I carry it with me all the time.
Hey,
there it
us
is.
too. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
The why's on one side, the goals are on the other.
Yeah, and my team will have it too. My team will have it too, right? So I love that. Now, you're I mean, as much as a realtor, you're also an investor, and you've built a massive a rental portfolio. To what extent, has your background as an investor contributed to your success, particularly with regards to building generational wealth or legacy wealth for your family through real estate investing?
Yeah. The first week I got my license, my office manager took me down to the boardroom. It was in the basement of the building, and he plunked in this tape. And I have no idea who was the host of this tape, but he said something and it resonated with me that first week. You're not just a realtor, you're an investor. And why would anybody buy property from you if you're not believing in your product? You need to buy a property every year. I still remember that message. You need to buy a property every year. And that stuck with me. And I was like, how do I buy a property every year? And so along the way, you make some money, you make some commissions. And so I started investing. And I also connected with a great who. It wasn't just the how myself. That person that introduced real estate to me from my church was a developer as well. And so I just connected with him. He saw my desire, my will, my zeal to make real estate successful in my own world. And so he invited me in to invest with him. And I've been investing with him ever since. So that's 30 years now. We develop together, we buy and hold property together. And it is, well, it's life-changing. It's legacy building. What I've been able to, build will change not only my life, my family's life, but my grandchildren's life, and I think my great-grandchildren's life as well, which is what I love about EXP as well, that we're legacy builders here at EXP. So I would encourage everybody, do whatever you can to buy a property a year.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And speaking of EXP, so you're one of the most dominant agents in RE/MAX across Canada, countless year after year after year. I remember when you came over to EXP, that kind of shocked the RE/MAX world, especially in BC, but across Canada. Why EXP 4.5, almost 5 years ago, I think?
It was an easy decision. I was, building a team. What happens with building a team sometimes, and I'm not saying always, but what was happening is I would have somebody join the team, they would come, learn, glean, and then leave. And it was in 2016, 2017, the market was crazy. We were just flat out. I remember in 2016 and 2017, I sold north of 150 homes. And plus the team, managing the team, I was exhausted. And yet I was disillusioned and kind of broken. I was a broken agent because I was going, why are we doing this? There's no exit strategy out of this other than just selling another house, another house, another house. And I said, I got to figure this out. Come on, you're not the brightest guy, Randy, but you got to be brighter than this just to chase time for money, because that's what we do as commissions, trade time for money, time for money. And then I saw the model. Phil Hahn introduced. Phil was a referral partner between Victoria and the Lower Mainland. And he said, I know the pain is a team lead. You train, you lead them, they glean, they leave. And I saw this model and I couldn't believe it. I thought it couldn't be true. And then I talked to Brent Gove, I talked to Rob Flick, I talked to a number of the bigger revenue share agents at EXP, and they all said it's true. And I thought, well, what I got to lose, right? Because this game's not going to end well. And so, and I thought, honestly, I thought the worst thing that could happen is it's just a bag of poop. I move my license over, it doesn't work out. What do? I throw the bag of poop into the garbage can. I go back to my RE/MAX broker owner. I say, listen, I made a mistake. Will you take me back? And he would say, which office do you want? Which office do you want, Randy? And well, here I am 4 years later, and it's changed my life. EXP has changed my life. Not only do I have more time, freedom, my mind is clearer. I am, I'm going to say, I think I'm a much better person because of the clarity I have. And I have 4 income streams that I didn't have before. And this is the true test. If I was still at Remax and I got hit by a bus tonight, I didn't make it home, what would my family get from those 31 years in real estate? And the answer is nothing. The deals in the system get paid out. That's it. But because I made the move 4 years ago to EXP, yes, those deals still get paid out. I'm still earning commissions, but if I don't make it home, whatever's in the hopper gets paid out to Jolene, my estate, whoever it is. But I now have equity, and I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity with EXP. The dividends get paid out to my family, my estate. The equity gets paid out to my estate. And the revenue share, for contributing to help build the company is also going to be paid out to our estate. And something that we learned in Maui is that we don't need to have a licensed agent to now receive that as well.
Yeah, which is amazing.
So, just amazing, amazing.
And speaking on the subject, can we briefly talk about agent attraction? Because in a short few years, you've attracted almost 600 agents to EXP. Obviously, you just explained why it's crucial to your business, but can you share a few agent attraction tips with the group?
Well, first of all, every agent should be at this company. It's just every agent should have the opportunity to be an owner and a business owner. So that's first and foremost. I mean, I'm passionate about helping agents, and that's my why. My why is to help agents see the value of creating life freedom and financial freedom. So however that may work, and I think EXP is the best model in the world for that. So that's first and foremost. But agent attraction, again, we are in the relationship business. And so one thing I encourage every agent to do, and this has boasted well for me, as I wanted to be a relationship agent to build my business, my commission business, my transaction business, I also wanted to be that agent with the other agents. So on every deal, I wanted to be the best agent in that deal. Even if I didn't like the person, even if I thought they were really awful at their work and they were difficult to work with, I still wanted to somehow get across to that agent that they were in the best hands to get a deal done. And that was with Randy, because the next time they had a client, I wanted them to seek me out and find me. So I have credibility in my marketplace with the agents. Super important. And so when I make a phone call, they do pick up. They're starting to ghost me more because they know that I think they're just afraid of me now at this point. But talk about on agent attraction, something so simple is I think this is one of the best ways to ask an agent. So when you're out with a buyer and you've shown them a number of homes and they turn to you and say, listen, Thomas, I think we're just going to rent for the rest of our lives. What do we do as agents? We have all of the scripts, the lines to say, well, why would you ever do that? Why wouldn't you buy a home and pay yourself? Why wouldn't you create financial freedom for you today and legacy for your family through the ownership? Why would you just continually throw money in the air and give it to somebody else? And 20 years from now, you've gained nothing, but you've given everybody all of your money. That's what you'd say as an agent to that buyer that says, I think I just want to be a tenant for the rest of my life. Well, then why are you a tenant in your brokerage?
Absolutely.
And you just pause and stop there and you go, well, okay, yeah, I guess I get what you mean. Or what do you mean by that? Well, your license, you're just a tenant in your brokerage system. How many people want a piece of you? What do you get for it? You're just paying fees to be there, no different than the tenant that's in your basement suite. So I think that's a great way to open up the conversation about EXP.
100%. When you look at it that way, it's definitely interesting, right? And you said it. There's four to five different ways you can make money at EXP. Every other brokerage, there's only one way. It's just production, right? So, it takes at least 7 revenue streams to be a millionaire. That's the latest stat, right? So, why not chip away 4 to 5 of them just being at the brokers doing everything you do every day, right?
Mm-hmm. So
I
true.
love that. Well, we're almost at time here, so I wanna talk about Realtor Collective. So it's this Friday, 1 p.m. in Burnaby. I honestly recommend everyone in this group be there and invite 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 people there. Randy, you want to just briefly touch on, what can they expect there?
Well, yeah, it's called Realtor Collective for a reason. It's a collection of great realtors collaborating, sharing with one another. And so we've got just an amazing group of panelists. This one, we've got an all-female panel, women in real estate. I'm really excited about this. Simone Russo is going to be the moderator. We've got 3 great female agents that are in massive production sharing. Then we got Patrick Francie from the Real Estate Investment Network sharing on how the market is and how investors are seeing the market and how we as agents can tap into that investor market. It's going to explode again. I know right now investors are kind of sitting on the sidelines watching, but there's going to be a moment in a time that they jump back in. How do we talk, speak their language, and share with them? So he's going to do that. And then we've got a top producer panel sharing on how they run their business, how they operate their business, how they're working in this marketplace. And then last but not least, Glenn Sanford is going to be in the house. And I'm going to have a fireside chat with Glenn on mindset, on clarity, on his journey, how he did it. I mean, think about this, guys. Glenn was an agent just like you and I. And he built $1 billion business. So excited to be interviewing Glenn and just kind of walking through that. So it's going to be amazing. It's 1 to 5 at Burnaby at the Grand Villa Casino. I can drop in the chat here the link, but we've got discounts if you buy multiple tickets. I would encourage you again to buy multiple tickets. It holds you accountable to come. It also holds you accountable to bring others. There isn't an event that I don't go to that I don't buy multiple tickets. Anybody going to Cabo?
Not this year, but next year.
Okay. See, so Cabo, I buy 3 extra tickets. Like, it holds me accountable. I got to find 3 people that I think are worthy to go to Cabo. And people make big decisions at big events. If you bring an agent to this event, this is a big event. They're going to get so much value and they're going to go, wow, I want to be part of whoever it is, Laura, Matt, Sheila, whoever is on this call, part of your world, because you brought value to them. Everybody just will fall all over you if you bring value to them. They're going to go, oh my goodness, I'm so appreciative of this. The law of reciprocity, you give somebody something, they want to give something back to you.
It's an absolute game changer. I remember invited someone to Orlando, and a week later, he and they both joined EXP, right? So, everyone in this group, especially if you live in Vancouver or if you're a couple of hours away, which I know most of you guys are, make the trip Friday, 1 o'clock. The tickets you can get in there. Buy a ticket, buy a couple, bring a friend, bring your spouse. Why not, right? And I'm also going to put Randy's contact information in the chat, guys. He runs one of the most successful teams in the Fraser Valley. So Abbotsford, Chilliwack, Hope, Langley, Aldergrove, Maple Ridge. If you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell in that area, he is a great referral partner for you as well.
Thank you, Thomas.
Amazing, guys. Well, I really appreciate your time today, Randy. Thank you so much. I learned a lot. I got a ton of notes. I will see you on Friday, and guys, have a great week this week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.